DJ Mikey Mike and Direct Sound, and we are doing it from scratch today. I know it's been a while since I did do it from scratch, but we're going to be doing it from scratch. I've been waiting about a year to do this. Had all the parts sitting in my shop waiting to do this, waiting for a kind of a non-windy day. It's been a little difficult around my area. It's always windy, and just find the time to do it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do string lighting. Okay, now this is kind of taken to a different level. Some of you guys are DJs trying to offer different things for your clients, just like uplighting. You might have seen some string lighting events around, the areas. Now you can do this several different ways. This is just one way to do it, and I'm going to do it from scratch completely. There are companies out there that sell pre-made string lighting, so you don't have to do it from scratch, but you might need to do these kind of mounting procedures. Now I'm just kind of showing you my technique. This is the first time I've pulled up the string lighting here in the backyard, so we'll kind of get to it. I'll show you the tools that you're going to need, the items that you're going to need. Also, I went to my Asian, I don't know, it's like Asian trading company or Asian supply company, and I purchased several different shapes and sizes of Chinese, what do they call those things? Can't even think of them. Chinese balls, the big rice paper balls or paper ball. I can't even think what they're called. Anyway, so we're going to show you how to just do string lighting, and then also attach the balls to them. Also, we're going to take one step further, and we're going to DMX control our lighting and run them 2-channel. Now you can run these things as many channels as you want, depending on how enthusiastic you are on running strings. You'll get the concept of running 2 channels. I'll show you how to do that, and then hook it up to a DMX switcher and controller and be able to run it through your light show. Now you can do this indoors or outdoors. We're going to do this outdoors right now. Most events that like string lighting are usually in a backyard environment or a park environment that don't have any lights, that just need fill lighting, and that's kind of what we're going to do here. Now I'm just going to do one run, but you can do triangle runs, you can do multiple runs, you can do all kinds of things. You have to be real careful on the wattage of bulb that you use, and the distance apart that you're going to use the bulbs, and how many different circuits you have. Now, I don't know the math. I'd have to figure it out real quick, but depending on what you're going to use wattage-wise, most people use anywhere from a 13-watt light bulb to a 40-watt light bulb. Now, if you're using a 13-watt light bulb, you can put a lot more lights on one string than you can if you use a 40-watt light bulb. But some people might need a little bit more light in the area, so you might need to use a brighter bulb and then do the math common to the circuit breaker that you're running off of. Also keep in mind of other things running off that circuit breaker. So if it's in a backyard condition, make sure that you're in a wet location. Run off a GFI type circuit breaker to try to keep it safe. Now, most of my videos are pretty long. Sorry about that. I try to keep them down to 10 minutes, but this is probably going to be a little longer video because I'm going to try to stuff as much in here, plus this little part in the front here to try to get you up to speed. So string lighting and Chinese lanterns, there we go, Chinese lanterns, I couldn't remember the name. Chinese lanterns, different kind of thing for you guys. So doing it from scratch with DJ Mikey Mike and Direct Sound, here we go. I'll show you what you need. Alright, you're going to need a few things. First, you're going to need some wire. Now I'm running 16 gauge, 2-cord lamp wire. Okay, there's 250 feet in the spool. You get them at your local hardware store. Also, you're going to need galvanized steel cable. This is 3/32. Now you can use any size you want, but I chose to use the 3/32. It comes on a big spool. Okay, just as long as the wire comes on a big spool. And we're going to end up doing string lighting just like this. You need some sort of a cutter to cut the cable. Now the cable's pretty tough depending on what size cable you get. You need a good enough size cutter to cut your cable. You need some kind of swedging tool. Now they make several different sizes. This is a smaller swedging tool for our swedges, or you can use the big monster swedge tool with some guts to it. Now if you're going to be doing this in a permanent location, I would suggest purchasing a nice big swedge tool. Okay, you also need swedges. Now I have several different, I have a whole bunch of swedges, but this is a swedge. You get these at your local hardware store, and I'll show you how to use them. Also, you'll need suspended. Now this is what we're going to use in our backyard here. This is a thread-based eye hook or eye loop, and they normally use these for drop ceilings. What we're going to do is we're going to screw this into the tree, into the patio cover. Now you have to get permission from your venues or your vendors or your clients if you're going to do this at their locations, to make sure you're not putting holes in what not supposed to put holes in. Here's kind of a look of the 3/32 cable that we're looking at. You also need some of these medium base socket lamp holders. They have a removable top, and they have little holes or little pokey things right inside there that the wire is going to get poked through, and then you sandwich this back together and right onto the wire. We have several little eye hooks just in case, or little S hooks in case we need to suspend something in a certain way. Now these particular lights have their own suspension system, but I wouldn't trust it maybe in a windier condition or something similar to that. Be careful. Okay, and also have several different size zip ties for this project. You need some cutters, maybe a screwdriver or two. Here's some Chinese lanterns, different sizes. I bought about 20 or 30 of these and 25 or 30 of the other sizes. The other thing you're going to need is a big ladder. Okay, I have an 8-foot ladder behind me. We're going to attach this one point up into the top of the tree here, and then we're going to spin it around. And I'm going to attach the other part to the edge of the patio beam right here. So we're going to have one cable stringing all the way across to the other side with our string lighting attached. Now we're going to do one channel first, just to show you what it is. And we're going to space the lights out pretty wide, because I intend in this video to attach a 2-channel light string, so we can alternate between the lights and give it a chasing effect. Okay, the more lights you get, the bigger effect you're going to get with the, or the more channels you get, the bigger effect you're going to have with chasing. But basically it's going to be a 2-channel chase at this time, because I'm not that enthusiastic to do 3 channels for you guys. Sorry about that. Anyway, hopefully you learned something here. String lighting, DJ Mikey Mike. It's probably a first-time event on here on YouTube, so always doing it from scratch, trying to stay ahead of the game. There's all kinds of ways to attach this. Now I'm going to use the patio cover in the tree right now, but you can use tripods, you can use base, pipe and base style configurations, you can use trussing. Now just remember, when you hang up something suspended like that, it's going to put a pull on your tripod or your truss, so you might need to weight the truss down. Now you can use sandbags, you can also use 5-gallon or 15-gallon and all the way up to 55-gallon drums of water. Better water in the outdoor locations than the indoor locations, but those are some options that you have to use with. Okay, you can also use a stake and cabling system to tie it down, or some kind of a strap system to kind of keep your tripod base or whatever in place. So these are things that you have to think about. It. These are things you have to charge for. Now it takes a little bit of time to do this, and I will show you how to do it. But let me see if I can get this timed. And we're going to actually put the lights on and string it and wire it to our AC little accessory here, so we can plug this thing in, at least one channel, and show you how long it takes. Now you can have these pre-strung, depending on what you're going to do. Maybe you have them 2 feet apart, 5 feet apart, 10 feet apart, whatever your configuration is. It depends on what your client's needs are, and depends on what your wattage that you can do with your, the power that you have available for you. All right, so I'll show you how the screw attachments work. I'm going to use my screw gun or my motor wireless cordless drill to mount those. It's pretty easy, and you might be able to use this for different mounting purposes, for other decorations or other things that you might have indoor, outdoor, depending on your venue and depending on permissions that you can get. Okay, so it's going to be tough to do it inside. I have plenty of trussing and extendable trusses that I can use to do this across my dance floors. Haven't had the right client to do this yet inside. I would have probably done it already, but I want to show you how to do it. We'll get this out there on the net. I can get some pictures of this at night, and it's going to look amazing on my website. So okay, for those of you with a cordless drill, all you have to do is take one of these little hang it type things that has a small little threaded screw on the bottom and an eye hook on the other side, and then just push this right into your drill. Make sure you go in the right direction. Get in it as straight as you can. It's going to be a little wobbly, but this is going to get you in there. You're just going to move your hand a little bit while it wobbles, and it'll go right into the wood. So let's show you how to do that. So you're just going to drill this right into the wood, just like a screw, but you don't have a screwdriver. All right, here we go. Okay, once you get the screw into the wood, all you have to do is reverse your drill motor, hold on to the attachment, and then it's in. It's that simple. Okay, we got our two screw holes or screws mounted into our base and our tree over here for our cable. Now we're going to run the cable, and then we have to suspend the wire and the lights off of the cable. So now this can be a permanent installation if you use these venues all the time, and all you have to do is bring your string lighting hook, 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 and come right back in. Or you can do it a temporary basis, and you can still leave the hooks if the client says it's okay. Maybe they paint it white, whatever it takes, but and they want the cables down, so you can come back and restring the cables. If you know how long it is, you might be able to do a couple techniques, and I'll show you what you do. You can use a loop technique and then a quick clip and pin, and that'll keep it suspended, and then you can just unhook it real quick and take it off. But we're just going to wire this, you know, I think I might use a loop technique on one side, and then the easier side on the patio side, I'm going to probably do, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we have our eye hook here, we have our cable, we have our swedges, little swedges right here. And we also have this little fancy clip. You can use like the dog leash kind. This I just found at the local hardware store, probably a couple dollars. Now this is going to be a clip. They use these on sailboats and a bunch of other different things. These clips are kind of a sandwich clip, and once they go together, once you pull on it, it won't open the clip again. So it's really kind of a safety lock inside there, but it's quick and easy to get out. So what we're going to do on the tree side is we're going to use the mount that's already up there. We're going to slide the cable through, we're going to loop it and swedge it right here and cut the end off. So now we have a loop attached, and once the loop's attached, the clip from the other side is going to clip on for our cable, so it makes for quick removal. Okay, so at the end of the night you can just go up there, unclip it, and then take all your lights down and your cable, and you're good to go. So let me show you how to swedge real quick. Now I'm doing all of this in the backyard, trying to, there's probably a lot of easier ways to do this. Haven't quite got that far yet. So what you need to do is you need to make sure you get your swedges lined up. There's a small little swedge. It has two holes in it for one side of the cable. Put your swedge in. And then make sure you loop your eye loop through. That's already in the tree, so you got to go up there and do this. Okay, so now we got our swedge inside our cable. We can pull it to the loop length that we want, and then we're going to squeeze this down with a swedging tool. Swedging tool looks just like this. It opens up, not very wide. Okay, slide your swedge into the swedging tool, and then squeeze, and remove your swedge. Okay. So now you have a nice tight swedge, and we're going to cut these two ends off right here. Now I just did this for an example, but we're going to be doing this up in the tree, so it's a little hard for me to show you up there. Now it's real important to get yourself a good pair of cutters. Okay, so make sure you're wearing some type of glasses or safety glasses when you're making any kind of cuts. Keep yourself protected. And if you don't use the right kind of dikes, it's really hard. You're going to be frustrated. Okay, and now that's what it's going to look like up in the tree with this inside there. You're going to be able to hook that off. Okay, so I can cut this off if I need to, and just show you this for an example. Okay, here we go up to the tree to attach our cable. So, put the ferrule right on the loop of the cable. Put your hook through there, loop it around, now we have a hook ready to go. So let's crunch it down. Use our swedging tool and crimp it. Now there's several different swedging tools that you can get. I found this one to be the easiest because it has the most pressure. But there's several different styles out there. Now we have our hook swedged on our cable. I'm going to go attach it to the tree. That way we can run it out to the other side and get our length. Okay, our cable's hooked up to the tree. We're going to run it to the other side. Alright, so you can see here I got a bag of tricks. I have hundreds of these little medium base sockets. I have a bunch of ferrules. I have more power adapters. All kinds of fun stuff in here. Also, I have some more hooks right here at the bottom. So I'm going to use another hook on the other side, tighten it to length, and then just clip it off so we can take this, remove it as quick as possible. So don't forget, if this is a venue that you work at a lot and you already got the permission to put up your eye hooks, you can come back and quickly clip off your cable and suspend your lighting as needed. And you would be the only DJ or lighting company that can offer this service in a quick amount of time. And okay, so we have our small piece of cable and our hook that we're going to go mount to the other hi-ho hook. So this is going to go onto the loop. This will go onto the end of our cable, and we'll be ready. Now we can use other mechanisms to make this tighter. I'm just going to use my hands and pull tight. And don't forget the tree's going to have a little swing to it also. So you want to give a little bit of tension relief so the string or the tree doesn't pull the cable out of the wall. We got our swedge in place, and now we just have to crimp it down. Alright, we have our cable in place, and now you can see it's a quick release cable. We're going to trim the end. Now we're ready to mount lights, wire the lights and mount them. Okay, I'll show you how the lights are wired and mounted. So right now I just have this one on the end of the cable just for testing, just so I can show you how it is. But what we're going to do is we're going to mount. Alright, we're going to start stringing our lights and mounting them to our cable first. Now you can do all this, pre-gig. You don't have to do it at the gig. I'm just doing it real time here because I haven't done it yet. So this right here is a 40-watt bulb. It's a small a pear-shaped bulb. They come in different wattages. I happen to get these 40 watts at local home supply center. You can get them online. I had some 13 watts ordered online. My order never came through, so that kind of upset me. But they're out there, okay? There's all sorts of different style bulbs. There's also LED bulbs out there. They're a little pricey, but if you're having power, restrictions, then you might consider going with an LED bulb, okay? A little more pricey, but kind of a one-time purchase, and then you have your lighting set up with some LED bulbs. Doesn't look as traditional as this kind of looks like the old school string lighting setup, like you'd see in old Mexico or some kind of old back alley style string lighting events. It's really cool. So I really dig that look. Anyway, so here we go. This is how it works. This little fold your little hanger hook back, and you're going to need to spread the wires apart in some locations. Okay, and then you just lay your wires down into the track, and there's a small little harpoon piece in there. Lay your wires down, and then lay your wires down, and then thread the cap back on. And you might need a crescent wrench to ensure that it gets down nice and snug. You don't want it loosening up. These wires will harpoon through the small little metal tabs that are on the medium base socket, and then your light will come on as soon as you plug it in. So it's real important. So whatever end your end is, your terminating end, you'll have exposed wires here. You want to make sure that you cap these off with a screw nut or a crimp cap or something similar to that, or you can use the female end of a AC adapter and wire it in also. Not that you're going to attach anything to the end of it, but it cleans up your end so you don't have any risk of fires or electrocution or anything like that. Okay, so always be safe. And don't forget, when using them outside locations, always use a GFI outlet. Okay. Now, those people in Europe, I'm not sure what your electrical situation is. I'm sure you might have something similar to this, but it might be a little tricky. This is all based on 110 power requirements. All right, it's time to start stringing our lights. Now, we need if you're smart, you get a tape measure. But for Mikey Mike, we're gonna do it old school, and we're gonna do it with my custom calibrated measuring device, my 2 arms. So we're gonna take our first light here, and we're gonna stretch my arms out completely. There we go. And that's approximately 6 feet. Okay, I've measured it before. It's approximately 6 feet. These don't have to be precision, but they're really close. Don't forget, we're going to do it 6 feet apart right now because we're going to drop in a second channel and we're going to populate it right on in the middle of the string. So it's going to be a light every 3 feet. So that's pretty tight string lighting. Now, don't forget, you can purchase this stuff already pre-manufactured in 50-foot lengths and I believe 100-foot lengths. But what if you have a 75-foot strip or a 35-foot run? You're going to have a lot of lights left over spooled up on the bottom that is going to look pretty tacky. It's going to be hard for you to control. So this is just one way to do it to make it unique, perfect for your venue or your house or whatever you're going to use it for. And we'll just show you how to do it. And here we go. Okay, calibrated measuring stick. Okay, 6 foot. So now what you have to do, you need to take a pair of pliers or some kind of some device to split the cable in half right at this point right here. So now we have a small opening that we can open up our unit. Okay, most of these cables are marked 2 different ways. It's really important. Okay, the cable is vented on one side, this particular cable, and the other side has the labeling. Okay, it says it's a 2-wire 16-gauge cable. Okay, these small lights also have 2 different prongs. One is gold and one is silver. Okay, so say for example positive and negative, or common and neutral. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're consistent on your cabling so you can wire it at the end properly. Okay, so what you want to do is I'm going to use the vented side for the silver and the labeled side for the gold. Okay, so I'm going to lay the vented side on the silver. So I'm going to lay the vented side on the silver. Okay, see that? And it just fits right into our cable right there. And now we're going to screw our cap down. And this is going to push pressure and push those pressure right on those prongs, and then we're good to go. Now if you had a problem with this, you could always open it up a little bit further and go down the side, but that should be good. Now if these ever have to be removed, most of the time the cable will fill in on itself and you won't have any electrical problems. You can always use a piece of electrical tape, but I highly suggest not doing that. But there you go, nice and clean. It's in the right spot. We'll put our bulb in here and have our hook that's hanging on the wire. So we're going to do this every 6 feet. Okay, we're really close to the bottom edge. Okay, we're really close to the other end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang it up in the tree, and then I'm going to tie it off with a tie strap so it keeps it in place. Okay, and that way it won't pull forward. Okay, so that will keep it to our little eye hook there and keep the cable up, and I'll hook the lights as I go along. Now remember, you need to make sure you have a big enough ladder to make sure this is safe. Don't buy a small ladder and stand up on the top rung. You're going to get yourself hurt. Okay, so we're going to add some light bulbs. These particular bulbs came 2 in a pack, Sylvania. All right, and they just screw right into your medium base socket. All right, we're gonna take our ladder, grab some zip ties and zip tie it the end up into the tree, right to our cable, so it stays up in that position and we don't have to worry about it sliding down the cable. Okay, so far so good. We got our lights hung and our cable. They're strung off to the cable every 6 feet, going up into the tree. And then we're gonna run another string and we're gonna populate, because we're gonna do it 2-channel, we're gonna populate a light in between every other light, just making it 2-channel, and we can run it via DMX if we choose. Okay, so we have the spool at the bottom of the ground and the cable's right down here on the bottom. Now where I'm gonna plug these in here in my backyard is I actually have a power source right up in here. So I'm gonna cut the wire eventually and just plug it right into there and turn on with my patio lights. But for a DJ condition, we're gonna have enough cabling to be on the ground and we can hook it into our power supply or a power source. So make sure you give yourself enough room. So on the top, I'll show you how we're gonna attach to the clip area. We're just gonna use zip ties and pull it tight and zip tie it off. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a zip tie and run another zip tie through it. And I'm going to tie one zip tie to the other zip tie. That way I can move it up and down the cable as needed. And then I'm going to run the zip tie through my clasp. Okay, we got our wire and ready to go. Tie a small knot and make sure you don't forget to put your end on first. So wire in through, tie a small knot in the end of your cable for strain relief. Slide your wire under your nut and tighten it down. This particular little plug has a little hook area here for the wire to go behind so it stays inside the connector. Okay, we'll do the same thing to the gold side. Slide the wire under, tighten her up, and then hook the wire underneath. Okay, you got the wires tucked underneath. Slide your cap back through. Remember the strain relief. Push it to where the holes line up to the hole. And reinstall your screw. Okay, there you go. Your cable. Now you have an extension cord for your string lights. You can make these string lights any configuration you'd like, but we're just going to do it this 6 foot apart at this time, and then we're going to add another 6 foot string to make it 2-channel. Now that we have our lights ran, this is single channel. Okay, there are 5 or 6 lights on this particular string, and we have it plugged in the wall. But we're going to run this DJ style, so you can use this and integrate it into your light show during dancing. Okay, so you can make the top of the dance floor for, say, if this was the dance floor underneath, you can make the top of the dance floor interactive. Okay, so I've already attached my wire. Up to the top, and now we're going to put more lights in between the existing lights. So we're going to have one. So we're going to have one every other 3 feet. Now just remember, you can wire this ahead of time, or you can do it just like I'm doing, but this is a little bit more complicated. I'm using this as a demonstration. All right, there's our string lights. It's double strung up there, so we're running 2-channel. You can run 2, 3-channel, 4-channel, however creative and enthusiastic you might want to be. For those do-it-yourselfers at home or just trying to do one strip of lights, I would probably just do one strip and put as many lights on it as you need for your power requirements. Okay, consult an electrician. If you're not, you don't know what you're doing, make sure you get some help. Okay, so anyway, we got our string lights up. They look really cool back here, and the next step is to put on our Chinese lanterns, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Here we go. I'm going to put up just a couple. Okay, this is the reason why I was waiting for a non-windy day. Okay, it was pretty nice when we started, but it's a little bit breezy right now. Lanterns. These things are huge. Well, these are 36-inch lanterns. Okay, and they require a little bit of assembly. There's a little rod here. It goes inside and hooks onto the, goes to the bottom. Goes to the bottom, push it down, and there's small little eye hooks at the top that it just kind of populates into. Okay, there's our Chinese lantern. So what we're going to do is it has a small little metal clasp on the top, and we're just going to zip that right to our right underneath our light. All right, we have a 12-inch lantern on the very end. I have all different sizes. I just want to test it out. We have a 36-inch, and we have 3 36 inches. I also have 24-inch lanterns. These are the nylon lanterns. They also make paper lanterns. I figured these are a little bit more expensive, but they'll hold up for mobile use if I need to use them. Now it's a little bit windy back here, so they're dancing around a little bit. But in some of your areas, you might not have as much wind as I do. So that's why I was waiting for a non-windy day. So we could turn off, now that they're 2-channel, we can turn off the lanterns if we'd like and just have the string lights, or we can turn on both, or we can dim one or the other, or we can have them chase. That's if you want to integrate the Chinese lanterns into your mix. All right, we got our string lights up, and we have our DMX controller plugged in. We're running SweetLight software. I made a couple scenes, just one for dimming, one for chasing, one for strobing, and just kind of a small fade type thing. I'll show you what we're using. All right, we're using our SweetLight D512 controller with an Elation DP DMX 20L. This is a dimmer pack. You can either use a switcher pack or dimmer pack depending on what you're going to use. We're running channels 3 and 4. And here's our SweetLight software. As you can see, I'm running a dimmer pack, and I have channels 3 and 4 up right now, and that's what's going to turn the lights on. And in our live page, I've created some scenes, so if I hit dimmer on, the lights will turn on and they will dim to the on position, and they'll stay on until I hit it again. When it gets a little darker, I'll show you what it looks like also, but we'll go through the steps right now so you can see. This will be strobe, so you can interact your dance floor and your string lighting strobing, so you can tie it in with the dance floor if you'd like. This is going to be chase fast. And this is chase a little slower. And that's with the Chinese balls on there, the Chinese lanterns. We're going to take off the Chinese lanterns and just use string lighting here also. So basically you have an idea what you can do DMX wise. This is run 2-channel. You can also just run it 1-channel on DMX, and you can have it fade or strobe or do whatever you'd like, but it's just going to do all the lights at the same time. You don't have different channels that you can run through. Okay, it's pretty dark out here. We got the lights on right now, and we'll show you how light the yard looks. So you got great coverage on the yard right now, and we will turn off the lights. As you can see, it's pretty dark. And now we're going to turn them back on, and you'll watch them dim up according to our fade. And now we have some nice bright lit yard. with string lighting. Now we're going to remove the Chinese balls right now and just show you what the string lighting looks alone. Okay, now here's just the integration with the string lighting with no Chinese balls on full. Okay, now we're going to dim to light. As you can see, it lights up the whole backyard. Here's dimmer chase 1. So you can integrate this into dancing if you'd like. Here's a faster chase. Don't forget this is 2-channel. And now we just created a strobing effect just by using a simple DMX chase. On off at like 0.3 seconds. And you can have an instant strobe light. And the last chase is every other one, fade and dim, fade and dim. So something subtle for maybe dinner or cocktail hour, just to give you a little bit of interaction. Alright, this is DJ Mikey Mike, doing it from scratch, string light style. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it's a long video, but there's a lot of information packed into this thing, and I didn't want to break it up into several videos. So hopefully you had enough time to watch this, and I promise my videos are going to start getting a little bit shorter as I can. I'll try to keep them under 10 minutes. Do it from scratch is a little tough though. So DJ Mikey Mike with Direct Sound, doing it from scratch. Peace!